to another We Read the Documents live stream. Your host, John Brisson. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you want to support my work, buy me coffee/We've Read. Trying to raise up anywhere between $50 to $90 this week. I want to thank Allison for donating. God bless you. Thank you. If you want to subscribe to my work, search We've Read the Documents on Odyssey, Patreon, Substack, Rumble, and YouTube. Substack gives you the greatest access to my content. You get access to my written work, as well as access to being able to listen to my live streams in audio form and RSS feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. My fellow brother in Christ and I, Jeremy Stone, have a Christian podcast. We just recorded a new episode yesterday, so hopefully we'll be posting soon. By their fruits, listen and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. I've been a naturopathic author and health coach for greater than 10 years. Go to fixyourgut.com if you're having any digestive health issues. There's over 200 blogs there to be able to help you out. You can purchase my books, my Amazon bestseller, Fix Your Gut, my newest book, Fix Your Mitochondria, or use a coupon code WEAVE space red for half off of my coaching services. God bless each and every one of you today. So let's continue our Jeffrey Epstein kind of research. This is part 7 of 2025, the externalization of the hierarchy. Epstein disclosure to the masses begins. Exclusive, CNN. New discovered photos and videos shed fresh light on Trump's ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Newly uncovered archived video footage and photos reveal fresh details about Donald Trump's past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Photos from 1993 confirm for the first time that Epstein attended Trump's 1993 wedding to Marlene Maples. Well, that's not true, because I did a video on Marla Maples a few months ago, and Marla Maples' vast connections to Jeffrey Epstein. And there were pictures of Jeffrey Epstein at that wedding that were already published beforehand. So CNN, these photos are not new. Don't lie. Don't lie. Epstein's attendance at the ceremony in the Plaza Hotel were not widely known until now. In addition, footage from the 1999 Victoria's Secret fashion event in New York shows Trump and Epstein laughing and chatting together ahead of the runway event. CNN K-File uncovered raw footage during a review of the archival video of Trump at events in the 90s and 2000s. Trump and Epstein appeared together in at least one video among the limited archival footage reviewed. New footage and photos, which have not been widely reported and predate any of Epstein's known legal issues, come amid renewed scrutiny of Trump's past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. The Justice Department's recent decision not to release the long-promised files related to Epstein has spurred outrage in some corners of Trump's MAGA movement, where people developed an expectation for bombshell revelations in Epstein's alleged co-conspirators. In a brief call with CNN on Tuesday, President Trump asked about wedding photos, responded, "You got to be kidding me," before repeatedly calling CNN fake news and hanging up. In a statement of CNN, the White House Communications Director Stephen Chung said that these are nothing more than out-of-context frame grabs of innocuous videos and pictures of widely attended events to disgustingly infer something nefarious. Now, we have to remember, too, to be bipartisan, that there are pictures of Ghislaine Maxwell when Chelsea Clinton got married, right? She was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. The fact is that the president kicked him out of this club being a creep. There's nothing more than a continuation of fake news stories concocted by Democrats and liberal media. Allegations that Epstein sexually abused underage girls first surfaced in 2005, leading to his arrest a year later. He was arrested again in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges and later died in jail. Fueling numerous conspiracy theories, the medical examiner ruled death by suicide hanging. All right, so I'm not going to retread everything we know of. I posted this picture. Go back and look, by Daphne Jones. It existed before. CNN didn't pull this one out of nowhere. Didn't pull this photo out of nowhere. We've read the documents, covered it months ago. All right. So there you go. And here's an interesting picture of Howard Stern was also at the wedding of Marla Maples. And here we have Jeffrey Epstein in the background, right? In this is about the fashion show, Victoria's Secret fashion show. In 1999, Fashion Show was the first Victoria's Secret event. Remember, Victoria's Secret Lex Wexner, right? Event the pair attended together. Two photos of the Getty Images show Trump and Epstein appearing at 1997 Angels Party in New York, 2 years before the footage uncovered by CNN. Epstein's presence at the 1999 fashion show also reflects his long-standing ties to Leslie Wexner, the billionaire founder of Victoria's Secret parent company. Epstein managed Wexner's finances from 1987 to 2007. The two later severed ties, and Wexner has said he was unaware of Epstein's alleged crimes during their association. Yeah, right. In 2002, Trump was quoted in New York magazine profile of Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, international money man of mystery, describing him as a terrific guy, saying he's known Epstein for 15 years, which would put Trump's meeting Epstein 1987, 1988. Supposedly didn't meet Ghislaine Maxwell to the late 80s on her father's yacht. Robert Maxwell had a party. So that means he met Epstein before he met Ghislaine, I think. So there you go. Oh, look. Maria Farmer, whatever you think about her, whether, she's some sort of CIA plot, right? Pottinger. Or she's telling the truth to some degree. Well, she's on CNN now. See what Maria Farmer's got to say, chat.
I've waited 3 decades to be able to even be heard about this because the government has not held any of the people I reported accountable. And so basically...
And a lot of people were making fun of how she looks. She suffered from cancer. She almost died from cancer, people. I mean, come on. The MAGA people were like, look at Maria Farmer. Look at her. First of all, it was 20 years ago, for one. 2, she just got to suffer from cancer, okay? It's crazy how they were towards her, and MAGA people were.
The night before I went
saying that if a woman looks a certain way, Trump would never, ever rape them, right? Not that Trump might be the embodiment of the man of sin, and, rape isn't always about so-called physical attraction. Sometimes it's just, horrific power dynamics, right? Taking control over somebody, right? It's about power, not necessarily about looks, attraction. So, I mean, I'm so tired of hearing that. It makes me so freaking mad. I'm so tired of it.
Before I began working for Epstein, he called me at very late in the evening and asked me to come up to the Helmsley Palace offices. And I didn't even have money for a subway token. It's kind of embarrassing. So I had to go running up there. And so I told Epstein, I'll be up there. It'll probably take me until like 9. He's like, okay. So I get there and I'm waiting. It's dark. Like there's no light on in the offices. And I thought that was really weird. So I'm seated against the wall in the main part of the offices and just waiting for Epstein. And he says, I'll be out in a minute, and he's got the door closed. And then a few minutes later, this man walks in a business suit, kind of tall, imposing. And I immediately was like, that's Donald Trump. What's he doing here? I'm supposed to be working for Epstein and interviewing with him. Why is Donald Trump here? And he walked up about, a few feet from me and just stood over me in a very imposing way and looked at me like he was in on some secret or something. It was really weird, like smirking, kind of. And I felt threatened, so I made an ugly face. And when I made that ugly face, Epstein walked out from the offices on this side. Trump's standing here, I'm here. And he walks out of his office and he goes, oh, no. He was laughing at me. And he goes, she's not here for you. Follow me, right? And he escorts him in to this other room. And I always wondered, who was she in there? Was someone in there, right? And I have no way of knowing, nothing. But I felt very intimidated because I had on running shorts and I was vulnerable, sweaty, just a nobody in an office with these 2 men. It felt very predatory and uncomfortable. I have to say that when I made that ugly face, he backed off. It wasn't like he was aggressive after that, but he made a really vulgar comment following. And I don't know if it was like, like locker room talk in the 90s, the way men were, but he made a joke to Epstein, oh, I thought she was 16. And I thought that was so strange because at the time my sister she was 15 actually. And I didn't...
And Maria at that time was in her roughly mid-20s?
I think it was funny, even though it was just a little bit inappropriate, but I thought, I don't know what it was. But anyway, and then they entered that room. So,
and I'm also tired of people, too. They'll say, well, look at Maria Farmer. She, if anything if anything happened to her, anything would happen to her. She's in her mid-20s, right? Like trying to say that like rape in and of itself is not horrific. Yes, molestation, I could understand. It could be considered to be worse. It's horrific too, right? But to kind of like push rape off to the side and be like, oh, it's, it's not like she was 12, John. And I get it. That's worse. But I'm so tired of hearing like discounting that rape is horrific in and of itself. I'm tired of it. All right. So let's look at Ivanka Trump's TV debut hosting Miss Teen USA 1997. Oh boy. The apple doesn't far fall from the tree, chat.
Crown one of these beautiful young teenagers here as Miss Teen USA 1997. So I'm going to call in an expert to help me out with the show. Please welcome my co-host, a young teen who...
And we know the beauty pageants were rife with molestation, rife with rape, okay? It's sick parading around girls like that, all right? I have a daughter. I wouldn't let her do any beauty pageants, okay? It's rife with pedophilia, rife with pedophiles being involved with beauty pageants, okay? And it's kind of weird, especially the younger the girls are, it's a little weird. It's kind of weird parading them around like that, like they're pieces of meat, It's kind of weird.
Taking the runways of high fashion modeling by storm, the exquisite, adorable, beautiful Ivanka Trump. Come on up, Ivanka. Oh, yeah. You look absolutely lovely this evening.
Thank you.
Now, I understand that you just got back from doing a little modeling in Paris.
That's right. My agent Monique Pillard at Elite sent me to do the couture shows.
Well, would you believe that once upon a time I did a little modeling in Paris and Milan myself?
Really?
I was about your age, actually. How old are you, anyway?
15.
15?
That's right.
They didn't look like her when I was 15.
When John-Luc Brunel was involved with Ivanka in her modeling, right?
15, I can tell you that. So, I guess that would place you still in high school.
Yes, I'll be a returning sophomore.
Oh, my goodness. Now, what would you like to do whenever you finish high school? What career would you like to pursue?
Well, of course, I love modeling, but I think I'm going to consider going into business.
Well, gee, I hope there's someone out there who can help you get your foot in the door, Ivanka. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you like our 10 fantastic young women?
I mean, really, that's what we're doing, right? That's what we're doing. So, I mean, it's just we're parading around in bikinis. It's not degenerate to parade around in bikinis, So, I mean, for the love of God.
It's a beauty pageant, and by his own admission, he was no stranger backstage while owning parts of 3 different pageants for nearly 2 decades.
They're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
In 2001,
Seeing him naked,
Tasha
Trump was
Dixon was
talking
Miss
about.
Arizona, competing in the Miss USA pageant. She experienced this kind of awkward moment firsthand.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked changing into our bikinis.
Dixon was 18 at the time and says watching Trump storm into a dressing room was shocking.
To have the owner come waltzing in when we're naked or half naked in a very physically vulnerable position, and then to have the pressure of the people that work for him telling us to go fawn all over him, go walk up to him, talk to him, get his attention. Who do you complain to? He owns the pageant. So there's no one to complain to. Everyone there works for him.
In 2005, 4 years later, Donald Trump bragged to Howard Stern about what he could get away with since he owned the pageants. The conversation uncovered by CNN's K-File.
I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it.
You're like a
Everything is
doctor.
good.
Later in that same show, Trump is asked if he'd ever had sex with Miss USA or Miss
It's like a doctor. What is he, a gynecologist?
Universe contestants.
Never comment on things like that. You know,
Give us the first letter.
Is that what he meant?
how many letters are there?
This comes just weeks after Hillary Clinton brought up Trump's attacks on former Miss Universe Alicia Machado. Trump once described her as Miss Piggy and then told his Twitter followers to find her sex tape. And another video where Trump is seen
Yeah, the godly Christian Trump, right? Find her sex tape, right? Go back to that.
her as Miss Piggy and then told
Oh, look, it's a 2016 election. Man, I tell you what, Trump is such a godly Christian man, chat.
his Twitter followers to find her sex tape. And another video where Trump is seen interviewing Playboy playmates and basks in the glow of a question from CNN's Jeannie Mose.
And have you ever dated a playmate
I refuse to answer that question.
on the grounds that it may be true?
It may be true.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Look at Ivanka's
And
face.
basks in
Look
the
at
glow of a
Ivanka's face when he's.
From
I mean,
CNN's Jeannie Mose.
look at Ivanka's face. I mean, Melania. What is it? Look at Melania's face. Look at Melania's
On the
face.
grounds that it may be true?
It may be true.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
It's
She's tall.
unbelievable.
She's almost 6 feet tall.
She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
That's him talking about his own. Dude, what is? That's him talking about his own daughter. Is him talking about Ivanka?
Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty, that one. If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father.
I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Oh, it's so weird. Stop
You know what? You are sick.
I know, isn't that terrible?
Well, you're known for saying
Is that
outrageous
terrible?
things, Mr. Trump.
Who are you, Woody Allen?
What's the
Who are
favorite
you, Woody Allen? Oof.
thing you have in common with your father?
I think that was Joey
Either
Behar.
real
That's pretty
estate
funny.
or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex.
Tasha Dixon says she's speaking out so voters can get a better understanding of Donald Trump's personality.
I'm telling you, Donald Trump owned the pageant for the reason to utilize his power to get, you know, around beautiful women.
Giant fucker. She was married. Huge news there. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
I mean, in totality, Trump's a rapist. He's a pedophile. I mean, he's not some godly Christian man. It's ridiculous. Bill Clinton sent warm and gushing letter for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday as Trump sues over the claim. Also, he wrote a body note for the pedophile's half-century. Bill Clinton wrote a warm and gushing letter, which was included in Jeffrey Epstein's infamous 50th birthday book, The Mail on Sunday Can Reveal. The former U.S. president was one of the hundreds who contributed to a heavy letter-bound gold-embossed album of letters that Epstein's ex-lover Ghislaine Maxwell took more than a year to compile leading up to the landmark date. So we already learned about Trump's. So yeah, Bill Clinton wrote a gushy letter, and then, here we go. The secret recordings that could blow open Trump's true relationship with Epstein. Nearly 100 hours of tapes are said to reveal a tangled history of privilege, conflict, and fractured loyalty between the pair. I still think Wolf's going to drop something. Bannon's going to drop something. I've been beating this dead horse for a very long time, said Michael Wolff. And suddenly now everyone's saying, oh yeah, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Why people did not see that this was a story a long time ago is just amazing to me. It's confusing that it could have been out there in plain view and ignored for so long. 5 years before Epstein's death in 2019, Wolff, best known as author of 4 selling books on the Trump's presidency, began recording hundreds of interviews with the financier and attended exclusive events at his flat in New York. For years, no publisher or broadcaster has dared to touch the explosive cachet, which he claims to run close to 100 hours of tape, split over some 30 sessions together. Said Wolff has released only snippets of the recordings to date, but now thanks to the mounting speculation and extent of Trump's relationship with Epstein, the tapes have become some sort of most in-demand material in America. Epstein died by suicide while, quote unquote, while awaiting trial for sex trafficking accused of procuring prostitutes, some underage, for his friends and acquaintances. Trump's MAGA base has been clamoring for release of the classified documents about this case, believing they would incriminate established figures in particular Bill Clinton, who was denied all knowledge of Epstein's crimes. Having been friends with Epstein for years before a bitter falling out in 2004, Trump took advantage of the situation, repeatedly suggesting that there was explosive material possessed by authorities which would come to light if he was reelected, and hinting Epstein might not have taken his own life. Yet as Trump has backed away from his promises of disclosure on Epstein, MAGA commentators have started to turn on him. The disgraced former General Michael Flynn, a sometime ally who's been a political commentator, posted on social media, reminding the president in capital letters that the Epstein affair is not going away. Having stoked Epstein conspiracy theories for years, including indulging the idea that he kept so-called client lists using the blackmail co-conspirators, Trump and his team may find their strategy when it comes back to bite them. Threatening disclosure was a typical Trump blow hard kind of thing, Wolf says. According to his reportage, Trump and Epstein were at one time closer than previously thought. Trump and Epstein, wealthy and connected men of similar ages, mix in similar fields and socialize together frequently. They're on several occasions spotted at the same parties. Okay, so it's going to go through the same hits. So we'll see if Wolf's tapes come out with Bannon's documentary on Epstein, right? House Oversight Committee to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell for testimony. The powerful GOP-led House Oversight Committee will seek to subpoena convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell for testimony about the Jeffrey Epstein case as expeditiously as possible, a spokesperson confirmed Tuesday. Representative Tim Burchett, Republican of Tennessee, has requested Chairman James Comer, Republican of Kentucky, summon the imprisoned British socialite for testimony. Comer instead asked Burchett to introduce a formal motion, which the panel approved by voice vote. Since Maxwell is in federal prison, the committee will work with the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons to identify a date when committee can dispose her, a committee rep said. Well, Mike Johnson cut short House business to avoid vote on releasing Epstein files. Republican Speaker truncated the legislature's schedule for the week ahead of a summer recess, moving to deny Democrats a chance to force votes on whether the release of the Epstein material. Speaker Mike Johnson announced on Tuesday that he was cutting short the week's legislative business and sending the House home early for the summer on Wednesday to avoid having to hold votes on releasing files related to the accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Mr. Johnson's move will then, for now, deny Democrats a chance to force procedural votes and would call on the Justice Department to make the information public. Reflected on how deep divisions among Republicans on the matter have paralyzed the House, where GOP lawmakers are trying to avoid another politically peerless vote on an issue that's confounding President Trump and rolling the MAGA base. We're done being lectured on transparency. I thought they were the most transparent administration. Mr. Johnson said at the news conference, where the typically unflappable speaker appeared frustrated as he wrapped up his final news conference before a summer recess that was to have begun on Friday and last until September. Mr. Johnson complained about endless efforts to politicize the Epstein investigation. He says that Republicans have been intellectually consistent the entire time. We're not going to play political games with this. And finally, comedian Tim Dillon says J.D. Vance told him key Epstein claim made by Pam Bondi isn't true. Comedian Tim Dillon spoke to longtime conspiracy theorist CMP Alex Jones this week about the ongoing fallout surrounding the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case. The pair both agreed that Attorney General Pam Bondi is engaged in some kind of cover-up and also point the finger at Commerce Secretary Lucky Lucknick, so Howard Lutnick, as being a target for blackmail. The Trump administration has been heavily implicated. I'm not going to name names, began Jones in a clip from an interview that was widely shared by pro-MAGA accounts on Tuesday. But you nailed it when you brought up Netanyahu. So let me, if you've got time here, Jones continued as Dylan jumped in. We have all the time in the world. I just want to add that Bonnie said we have 10,000 hours of video. She said we have 10,000 hours of video. I had dinner last week with the vice president. He told me there was a commercial he told me that was commercial pornography. They do not have the videos of any powerful person in any compromised position. That's the party line they're going with, continued Dillon, adding, if that's the case, then why would Pam Bondi call it evidence? Why would she say it's evidence? And also, commercial porn, I thought it was child pornography. That's not technically commercial. It's black market pornography. I mean, there is a lot of money within child pornography. Do not mistake in my words, but it's not the same thing. She's not an idiot. She's the attorney general. Why would she say files on her desk if none of these implicated anybody? It just feels like they're covering something up for sure. There you go. All right, everybody.